Hello, guys. Hello. Welcome. We're back with another Title Tuesday. I am happy to be bringing you guys the action today. Haven't done a Title Tuesday in a while. Haven't played in one in a while. I won't be playing today, but I think that Eric might try to join over on the Chess.com channel. That's what I hear in the rumor mill through the grapevine. Hey guys, double reverse, Super Saiyan. What's going on, everybody? Should be a pretty strong one today, just based on the list that I see in front of me right here. It already looks fairly strong. We got Faruja at the top. No surprise about that. No surprise there. 3166 blitz rating. He is going to be a clear rating favorite. Um, but I say rating favorite because I think Title Tuesday is one of those tournaments where it's never clear who's going to win, and the highest rated guy is I mean, he's the favorite on paper, but it's not like the highest rated players winning every single event. Not in Title Tuesday. Often see a lot of people performing way above their rating, a lot of upsets. That's why it's kind of a very fun tournament. Um, I think there are a few things which are a little bit different, at least since the last time I commentated on a Title Tuesday. But if you've seen the last ones, maybe it won't be a surprise to you. But Chess.com introduced a break after the seventh round, where basically they just take a short break, 5 minutes or less, and check everybody for fair play in an effort to make the last rounds of the tournament really a competition between who actually deserves to be there. Who's playing on their own. So I think that's great. I think it's fantastic. It's really hard to police cheating all the time on the fly, but I think that's a great introduction. So that's after round seven. The format, if you don't know, or even if you know and need a reminder, is it's going to be 3 minutes plus 2 seconds of increment. Every turn they get 2 seconds, and that's to basically give everybody enough time to convert those winning positions should they get them, and sort of eliminate the idea that you can just dirty flag somebody. So my favorite time control for Blitz, 3+2 when it comes to official tournaments and serious cash prizes, which is what these guys are playing for. And also it's 10 rounds. It's 10 rounds. So 10 rounds of 3+2 chess. And looking forward here. Looking forward. We already got some donations coming in there saying thank you very much. And welcome everybody. It's early here, but I see we got Parhamov, we got Faruja, Daniel Naroditsky, a lot of regulars on the Chess.com server, and we're gonna get started in just about a minute and a half for Title Tuesday. I'm excited to see what the first round pairings are, because I think the first couple rounds are where I see the most upsets. And that's what's exciting. That's what's exciting. Hey, Simjack, how's it going? So we can even scroll a little bit, see who else is playing. I see Jeffrey's there. There's a few GM titled accounts on Chess.com that I'm actually not too familiar with. Either I just haven't clicked the profile and seen, or some of them don't even write their names. So there are a few players I'm not too familiar with. Sajirov, Petrosian, this is Sam Sevian, Konovets there. So a lot of names I actually do recognize as well. Terry Lujan is playing all the time. For an IM, he's simply one of the highest rated IMs consistently on the website. You got Ariantari there. So should be quite strong, because as I said, Faruja topping the list with 3166 as his his blitz rating. But we're about to get underway here, guys. 5 seconds, ticking down. Title Tuesday here on Chess.com, and let's get into the first game. May as well start at the very top. Firouzja here. We can take a look, see how it's going with this game. Just started, as I said. 3+2 is the time control. He's playing Oleg Kislov. I'm not too familiar with this player. Already we see a French. Already we see a French. Do I usually host Title Tuesday? I don't know what usually means, but I've done quite a few of these in the past, and I won't say I do it every time. It's certainly not true, but it is more or less familiar territory for me. I definitely commentate these a lot more than I participate in them. That's for sure. And somehow every time I commentate, we get some crazy long end games that just won't end. We get a rook against a knight, a rook and bishop against a rook. Everything you could think of. Okay, so knight d4. Again, it's just like one of the deficiencies of the French. It's just, you trade that dark square bishop, and what you have left are these pawns and that bishop. Just positionally, white is doing so well in these games. So black's got this, sort of pin against the queen. A lot of times when black plays knight c5 or even bishop a6 and tries to trade for that bishop, white has the option of leaving it there and trying to take with the pawn and work on the c file. So using that pawn to control some important squares, keeping the knight strong on d4, and then using the c file. Because he went with bishop a6, I think Firouzja just decided to take it and go for f5. If knight c5 takes d3 was played, I think Firouzja would have left the bishop there. I've gone for f5 as well. So just a typical attacking break there with f5, and one of the main ways to fight against the French. If black takes there, believe me, Firouzja is not taking and allowing that. He's going to go for this. So quite an aggressive position already. Knight takes has the idea, if takes, he wants to take here. Yeah, this looks like it. Hey, Ahmed likes chess. Chess Bay 94. What's up? How are you? Just getting started here. I feel like I haven't hosted one of these in a while, so just getting back into the swing of things. Knight takes e5 takes. I think he's just taking. That looks just like a good tactic. Yeah, because he's gonna get a queen trade here as well. I think he's gonna take. Yeah, just because he has to keep some pieces on the board. Not the best start, I want to say, for Firouzja, unless maybe. Okay, so he's probably gonna take there. No, f6. Wow. Okay, no, definitely not a good start here for Firouzja. Definitely not. I would have expected him to take. But okay, pawn takes back, and he's doing quite well. Black's doing quite well, I mean. So as you can see, I was talking about upsets, round one. I mean, look at this. First game we take a look at, #1 seed. Firouzja already facing some difficulties here. He's down a pawn. He lost the center pawn. And, I mean, black, to me, just has a crushing position already. I'll never say winning. That seems too harsh, especially when there's so much of the game still to be determined. But this is an extremely good position for black here. Not only the healthy pawn up, but better structure. It was a center pawn as well. I think he's got to be very, very weary of that. So knight takes c2 is how Firouzja might want to activate his pieces, with the idea of rook c8, rook here, and that's actually just permanently pinned to the rook on c8. So you'd lose a piece that way. And after this, if the knight goes somewhere else, it could still be played, but at least Firouzja wants to say, hey, I got the open file here, and I'm going to try to push that for a win. So he decides to go knight f5. Firouzja is the type of player that I don't think it matters what the material is. He always plays quickly, and he's always looking for aggressive attacking ideas. If pawn takes here, I think he's going to go here, and knight takes d5. That's just nice for him, I think. Takes, okay, no, takes, he wants to go rook takes c2. Can understand that, yep. King there, I think he's going g4 and rook f3. That's what he wants to do next. He might start with no. The knight's going to d6. I think his opponent's maintaining a bit of control because if rook f2, there's rook c6, and the pressure's on. So yeah, he has to go for this. I think knight d6 will happen. It's a great way to defend that pawn, and you know the knight's sheltered by its own pawns, so pretty difficult to break through here. I feel like I'm really liking how black is handling the pressure that Firouzja is trying to put on. Got my coffee here. Got, whoa, all the mods in chat all of a sudden. It's a mod party. Chess Bay, Distant Fire, Mr. Blundy. Jeez, the mods are out today. What's up, guys? This is going to be the most maintained chat I've ever seen. Okay, black's clearly better, but when you're in a worse position, all you can hope for is imbalances. So at least Firouzja has an H pawn. That's, you know, if it's going to be these pawns against these pawns, at least Firouzja can say he's got the imbalance here. He's going for G6, and take a look at that clock. 1:32 to less than 30 seconds. It is 3 plus 2, but that 2 seconds goes by very, very quickly, and I really think that Kislov. Well, I've never seen him play bullet or you know time scramble, so it really depends how good he is at that, how well he can handle himself with just 22 seconds. Because Firouzja, I mean, this is his specialty. Yeah. Oh, it's already happening. It's already happening. He wants to play, maybe just takes a knight g6. Firouzja is, he's creating the pressure. He's creating the pressure. Just pawn takes on f7, I think. Yeah, pawn takes f7, followed by knight g6 is one good way to do it, and just run the h-pawn. So I would say probably this, that, knight g6, he's going to take everything, and then just run this guy. I think that's good enough. Maybe he's looking for better here. Is there better? I'm not sure. Maybe he's looking at some way to play g7 and rook h8, because that also looks completely winning. Yeah, I think he's looking for that. He's going to take with the other rook and go g7, and oh, not what I would have expected. Maybe I missed something in my calculations there. I didn't think there was any tricks. Okay, he didn't like something with that. Maybe he thought this was just cleaner. And maybe he's right. So there's going to be a check, yep. And then what? Rook over. Pretty simple. Firouzja, basically, you know, that opening looked lost nearly. Like, really bad opening, but he played quickly and he maintained enough material on the board to create some pressure. Okay, rook there, and wow, that's gonna be it. That is gonna be it. So who else is playing? Let's maybe check another game, because clearly this one is wrapped up here. This one is much closer. Ooh, wait a minute. Is that playable? Wow. I think he might win. I was gonna say that move looked a little funky. I think he's going for f3 takes g5. Takes g5. That's what he wants. Careful. Got to go here, but then he's coming like that. Again, I think he probably just had to play f3. Was f3 good enough, actually? I don't know. He's collecting these pawns pretty fast. Yep, so he's going to get a queen, but I think the black king is going to be very well positioned. Just king g2 here, I think. Don't take that pawn, of course. He's going to queen with check if you do that. And the black king near the pawns makes the difference. Huge imbalance there between the two king positions. Any queen trade would be winning for black. That's important to note. Probably just like queen there and end up taking the pawn. Or jack and do it. Yeah. Basically taking the pawn is good because it guards that pawn, so I don't see any issue here. I think it's just completely winning. Yep. You're going to take that pawn as well. Got to be a little careful you don't lose this one. F5 is the magic square if we can get there. Queen on F5. Maybe like check here. I feel like I would play queen D3 check. Yeah. So this is going to be winning if he allows that. King B4 he should play. Maybe centralize the queen. King G4 as well. You can take your time with this position. Yeah, and now a check and take the pawn. Probably good enough. Because afterwards we got some ways to block the checks. I think that's the easiest. Now, what to do here? You could try to bring your king there, so you have you know, like this check to block a check if your king's on h1. If he goes here, and then king g4 and queen f4, that might be a way to do things. Queen d5 check. No, queen there. Okay. He should be fine here. Eventually, I expect he's going to be able to get rid of the checks. He's going to bring the king down here, and I think the position of the white king is eventually going to walk into a check. That's just how it's going to work, I bet. Yeah, there's no queen check there because there's queen f2, so you have to go there. King up? No, probably. I would have said keep moving the king down, but we'll see. I think he should keep moving the king down. Oh, now he can hide. There we go. There we go. Queen f5, GG. This is definitely winning, so it might look like people are shuffling around or that, you know, white's getting closer and closer to a draw, but the evaluation of that is definitely winning for Parhamov there, so no surprise. This is another one that I'll remind you is absolutely winning. What about these other games here? Oh, this one looks winning as well. This one looks winning as well. King there, queen takes, and let's see a bishop and knight mate. Let's see a bishop and knight mate. Oh, okay. Alright, I think all the games are done. I think all the games are done. So, we're about to enter round 2 here. There we go. Let's take a look at... let's check out this game, actually. Champ 2005. I'm not 100% sure who that is, but I can tell you that there's a very high chance they're born in 2005, which makes them quite young. And there's a lot of talents coming out of India these days. Vincent Kamer is someone who people who follow chess tournaments, the competitive ones, pretty regularly will probably recognize that name. He was, probably still is, I assume, unless anything has changed, the student of Peter Leko, and he won the Grenki Open tournament one year, which gave him the privilege to play in the Grenki Classic the following year, and Magnus Carlsen was there. You know, the world's best. I can't remember. I think Fabi was also in that tournament. But yeah, I mean, he got a chance, not by luck, completely earned his chance to play with Magnus and some of the world's best in a classical event in Germany. So, very cool experience for him, and he's quite a promising young talent. So, if I'm not mistaken, Vincent is a GM. Is his opponent even a GM as well? I think it's quite possible that these are just both grandmasters, or at least they've earned their norms. I recognize these names. Hey, Stevis. Bishop f4. I mean, looking for e5, and generally positions where white hasn't committed c4 are considered beneficial. Because, I mean, the b5 break, you always meet it with knight a5, like take and knight a5, and either take the bishop or bring the knight to c6. And, well, I think he's probably going to go for that now. Yeah, he's going to take, and go b4, I think. Knight a5, b4, I imagine, should be the move. He'd love to take that pawn. Of course, white's going to go knight d1. Maybe look to play c3 and bring the knight from e3 to c4. That's what it looks like, at least. So looking to trade this bishop, I mean, no question, the best piece on the board here. No question at all. This knight is actually fairly strong in a lot of lines. Getting rid of that light square bishop is going to be quite valuable. You can take here, yeah, and I think this rerouting going to the c4 square is going to be extremely strong. I think white is better here for sure. I think white is better for sure. Knight d1. Yeah, the thing with making the Grandmaster title is not only do you need the rating, not only do you need the norms, but they have these congresses at FIDE, which are essentially quarterly. And if you miss a congress by even a couple days, or even if you make a GM like a week, or sometimes even a month before a congress, sometimes if you're slow submitting the application and collecting all the norm info, then you have to wait like 3 more months till the next congress. So it's all about when the title actually gets approved. That's when you're technically a GM. But they've done the hard part, so now just waiting. Although I think Vincent may already be. I'm not sure. Are they both waiting for titles at the moment, or just one of them? Because the other thing is, once you get a GM title, it's not always updated immediately. I know there's a few players at least who play on Chess.com who don't have their titles updated. Sometimes on purpose. Some people like to be sneaky, hide under the radar. Both pending confirmation. Great. Well, look at this, guys. We're being treated here. We got 2 international masters who are actually 2 grandmasters. Just waiting approval. Okay, probably going to take that. Yeah, white is much better. He's got the open file. This bishop has been bad the entire game. f6 is not a pretty move to play. Ugh, it's getting worse and worse for black here. The time is not nice either. White could even go slow, something like h4, king h2. There might be a more direct thing to do, like f4, e5, which maybe he's going for. But yeah, I think that Vincent Kamer is doing really well here. He can flip the board actually and start to enjoy this a lot more from White's perspective. But I can definitely see some, yeah, e5 looks. Have to play e5, right? I don't see why not. He might try knight b5, but the knight is simply not going anywhere after that. Bishop there. Okay, there's likely some issue with that. The first thing that comes to mind is some sort of tactic revolving around this pin here, because you can see the tactics developing. There's a rook hitting a knight, which is hitting the king if we could get that pawn out of the way. So that's where the tactical ideas come from, but I don't think they're quite working yet. Not quite. But the idea would be something like takes, knight e5. But yeah, I think this one is simpler. Is he gonna take now? If he takes, I think white goes c4, strengthens everything, kicks that bishop back out, and then plays like queen c3 and really goes for the attack. I don't think you can take that pawn. Shouldn't work. Yeah. So here c4, queen c3, and this should be big trouble for black. Also, by the way, this is a move to consider. Doesn't look like it quite works because there's rook f7, but that's definitely a big consideration there. There's queen a5 as well. That knight, by the way, really doesn't have anywhere to go. Queen a5, that might actually be one of the better moves. Yeah, I'm really liking queen a5. Yeah, he played it. Yeah, this pawn is hanging. This knight might be in serious trouble here. Like d6 or something. No, I guess there's queen takes. There is queen takes. But this is an overwhelming position for white here. Yeah, I feel like at 2600, that's definitely a good point. One of the most underrated players ever, I think. Knight e3 is really strong here, defending the c-pawn, so it's just covered. He wants to bring his queen back here to hit that pawn on e5. And yeah, I think he's just gonna, well, yeah, queen d6 or c5, so it's just over. Queen d6, c5, knight b5 takes, d7 wins the bishop. So that's one line which just looks crushing. Queen takes, if queen d6, there's rook takes knight. Everything is coming apart here. Knight g4 to h6 looked crushing too. That looked really strong. Knight g4. I think that one was a bit better. Yeah, because he played bishop h3 and actually just came right back. So not ideal, but he's still got a firm grip on this position. I don't think he's in a rush. Any tactics on this guy? Not quite, eh? He's switching sides. Probably knight d6, bishop d3 is about to be played. I think this. That would make the most sense. Yeah, I really would have preferred that knight g4 move. I think that was lights out. I think that move was very strong. Hang on. Ooh, e5 almost is something, but that's a check. G7. Yeah, c5. Oof. This is not nice. He's thinking about d6. Probably he's going for it. Yep, again, this knight g4 move has been screaming to be played for a while here. Okay, that move doesn't seem to work at all. He wants to give a check there, but he's pinned right here. It doesn't. There's nothing happening here. Rook takes g6, also possible. Okay, just take, and yeah, this one's gonna be over. It would have been too impressive, honestly, if black survived that game. Yeah, so this one makes more sense. He wants to give a check or what? King there is one way to get mated with rook a6. And now he's losing to knight e5 if he goes back, so that's a mate. Oh, hang on, sorry. I thought that was checkmate. I thought that was mate. Not actually sure if this was the best. Okay. Just technique at this point, but something feels a little slow about this. Technique. King f4, rook f5, for example. I mean, this is just really, really bad. Oh man, that is atrocious. Wow. Okay, that's some pretty bad technique, I have to say. Well, if he's 2600 for any reason, it has to be from stuff like this. I think he played probably a near flawless type of conversion game, but when it came down to winning lines like knight g4 and whatever, I think that's where things were missed. King back. So now it's a draw. It's a technical draw. Probably g4. Just push that guy. Ooh, knight f3. Oh, it doesn't work. It's so close to working. Check. You take it, but then I think the king and pawn draw. It's close though. It's very close to working. I told you we were gonna see rook and knight versus rook. I told you guys. He's got to be careful he's not losing now or something. Like, this is a little much. Just G2. He might just take it. I think he's gonna lose if he's not careful. Whoa. Wasn't there G2 there? Knight F4? Okay, not that. I'm a little confused. I thought that there were some better ways for well, I guess everybody to play. Rook H1. Surprised he's not going king there. Check again. This time king there. Yeah, not much going on. King D5? No. Lots of things missed. Lots of things missed. Okay, and then draw by repetition. Well, they're not GMs yet, so. Yeah, that was a fairly sloppy game actually overall. It looked like a really good grind by Vincent, but that technique left a lot to be desired. Oh, queen against knight. This is a big one here. This is a big one here. Don't be blundering that queen. Keep it really far away from the knight. That's how you do it. Oh man, what is this? King there, king there. We are seeing some questionable technique today. Extremely questionable. Check, check. King there, king there. We're just gonna go around in circles all the way around the board. I'm surprised king there wasn't played. Man, this is this is not a good look. Finally, some progress, it looks like. Okay, knight back to c4 can even be played. Oh no, don't put the king there. King there. Man, this is a little much. This is getting a little much. My gosh. Oh no. There's moves. Is this gonna be 50 moves? This is incredible. I have to check when the last pawn move was. Move 87, I think. I think it's move 87. And we're on move 122. Oh my goodness. Oh man. Almost 10 moves left. This is quite something. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, the queen blunders.
Oh, no.
Oh my god. That was like... That was just atrocious. That... Oh man. That might be the worst thing I've seen on Title Tuesday. I've seen a lot. But that might take the cake. That might take the cake, guys. I'm sorry. That is truly the worst thing I've seen. Oof. Yeah, that's rough right there. We saw some. I mean, everyone gets a little nervous, has some rough end games, but that is a tough one. That is a tough one right there. And then just like to top it off, the actual queen blunder as well. Man. Okay, well, we're on to the next round. That was absolutely the last game of that round. Um, oh, I don't think that's the same tournament. Arena over. I think that, yeah, arena over is just we're all done here. After that, everybody go home. We're all done. Arena over. No, that was a different tournament. The Queen against Knight. That's definitely one that we're gonna have to put on. We're gonna have to make some, some video classes. Put that on YouTube. How to win Queen against Knight. Because that was a little rough. That was a little rough. Okay, we're on to the next one though. It's an all Iranian matchup on board one here. We're in round 3. We are in round 3 right now. D3 just played. Okay, at some point white can even go for F4. Knight F3 and 82. Yeah, I think F4 is not crazy, but it does give black the idea of like E5 later. Okay, and bishop F5. He wants to go E4, Knight E2. I think, yeah, he's gonna go E4, right? E4, Knight E2 seems to make the most sense. Yeah, and now castles. One of the main things to be careful of in this line, let's say bishop here. I'm just gonna put some moves on the board. I don't know, here. Just one like really common trick or something to be very, very careful of, at least always calculate it, is before you castle, if you got your queen on d2, this is a well-known way to potentially blunder. So something to look out for. Bishop b3, b5, f4, yeah, kicking the knight out. And after knight there, I'm wondering, I think it's just going to be pawn takes b5, actually. Yeah, just pawn takes b5, I think. Firouzja against Parham. Yeah, that'll definitely happen if both players continue to do well in the tournament. That will surely happen. Probably just take that pawn. I mean, I guess there's rook b8. Because the other option is just castle or play queen d2. Both moves look good, but I was gonna say, yeah, it looks like that pawn is takeable. It really does. Knight h5. Okay, some pressure against the two knights, but still the knights guard each other, so I'm not seeing any issues yet. If g4, I'm looking at knight g3. I'm wondering, is he really gonna do that? It looks like yes, and then probably play h5, h4, and keep the knight on g3. Yeah, I think that's his plan there. So do you go king f2? It looks a little crazy, but I think king f2 is playable. Because g4 knight g3, rook g1, h5, I'm thinking that he wants to secure the knight, and then it's like, you can't castle. Looks a little weird. Yeah, king f2 looks better. It's like, if I already can't castle, I think I'm gonna go for this. King f2, queen d2 takes what? Rook takes b4 now. Yep. I think Firouzja is emerging from this position just fine. Rook over to b1. Must be rook b1. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah, this looks good, right? That should be fine. There must be something after that. What is the what's the big idea? I actually don't know why he's not playing that. To me, that's okay. He's looking for better, or he's simplifying. I don't know. There must have been some issue with that. I think he was looking at bishop c3, queen c3, and then bishop takes d3. Yeah, okay. It just took me a while. I knew there had to be something. It's quite an obvious looking move. I think he wanted bishop takes c3. And bishop takes d3, something like that with some pins there. So, okay, some tricky stuff. He's got the two bishops though, and the pawns are running down the board. Slightly better for white. Slightly better for white. Takes, yeah, knight there. Okay, but this pawn chain is very good. I mean, it shuts the bishop down completely, and I know the pawns are all on one side of the board, which does lead me to say, okay, should probably be more on the drawish side, but that, I don't know what move that was. What was that? Queen a2, and now this doesn't look correct at all. First of all, that looks like a pawn to me. So I think he's trying to play this. And if I take, you go here. And if I take, there's jack and take. Yeah, I can't really go. I have queen c5 there. So it was queen d8. Now what? Oh, okay, he's just sitting on the position. He's just sitting on the position. Okay, well, this pawn chain is extremely good. We got h5 coming. This knight doesn't really have any good squares to go to. e6 is playable, but yeah, I think he'll probably end up playing it actually. But the thing about e6 is that you worry about allowing like a bishop c5 idea at some point. Yeah, so h5 for sure. I guess he's got to just take that. Although no, there's a check to throw in. I think he'll throw that check. Yep, definitely. Maybe back. Yeah, bishop takes h5. And I think what he wants to do is put the knight on that square and sit in this position. Queen c6. Yeah, it's tough to do anything. Maybe g4, but I think he wants to play queen h1. With 10 seconds left, it definitely wouldn't surprise me if this worked out to a draw. I think white's slightly better, but it's very difficult to contain everything that black wants to do. Yeah, he's just going to pester those pieces there. So what's Firouzja's next move? Because he can't really push either of those pawns, because that e pawn is hanging. So he's got an idea to try to maybe put this pawn there. Ooh, fell into a little trap there with queen e7. Now Firouzja will definitely be content with a draw as a result of that. Tough to see what black can do. But a little trap there. A little trap he fell for. He would like to trade dark square bishops. That would be great. If black could trade dark square bishops, I think. Oh, knight d2, game over. Blunder from Firouzja with 25 seconds. Big blunder. That's a full piece. He is lost here. That's a resignation station. Yep, that's a loss. Tricky knights. That is your top seed. Firouzja going down here. That's going to be it. An upset there from his fellow Iranian. Let's check on some of the other games. We haven't visited Grigorio Parin this event. And maybe it was better off when I wasn't, because now we check in and he's actually got a probably theoretically drawn position here against his 2700 international master opponent, but it is it's still tricky. These are always very very tricky to deal with. I've seen these go as a win for black all the time. All the time. Did Daniel win? That's another person we need to find some time to check in on. But the nice thing is it's a long tournament. There's 10 rounds in this one, and we're gonna have a break after the 7th round as well. And in general, it's 3+2, so these rounds can go pretty long. E3. What? This looks a little sketchy. Maybe does this make his job easier to draw? I'm trying to see here. Maybe it does. Maybe it does. Maybe this was intentional. Yeah, it feels like this was intentional. Although I still think that was a little strange. I guess it's fine. Maybe that is a maybe that is some sort of known procedure. Yeah. No, this looks like an easy draw. That's a good trick to know. Good trick to know. Yeah, nothing happening here. This should be a draw. That's looks like a good escape, or just theoretical in-game held by white here. We'll see some of the other games, and well, there's not too many games left. Probably they're gonna go a little bit longer, but we're gonna take our first super short break here, as basically we're waiting for this round to wrap up here. Yeah, this will be the end of round 3, going into round 4, and yeah, I'll be right back, guys, in just a very very brief second. But already we've seen tons of upsets in this tournament, lots of games with, I would willingly say, one of the worst blunders I've ever seen. So it's been pretty exciting thus far. But stay tuned, guys, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we're back. We're back. Hope you didn't miss me. The rounds finished up there. That was the third round, and we have Parhamov now, the new top seed, currently leading the event. He's playing here Kulak. What's up, Lally? He knocked off. Forget who he played last round. But he was helped certainly by his Iranian countryman, Puya 21, who took out Fallujah in a nice game there. So I'm actually looking at the games right now, and this one looks like a pretty serious match here. Alexander Bortnik for his 29-31 rating. I have to say, I usually see him a lot higher rated, although maybe I'm thinking of his bullet. He's just pretty accomplished and frequent online player, so usually see most of his ratings around the 3,000 level. But he's definitely capable of playing well above this level, I would say. Speaking of playing well above your level, at 2,700, beating Fallujah there, definitely gained a lot of rating points for that, and we will see what he is, what he's gonna do here against Bortnik. I think if, like for example, if he takes back, we get something like this. I think the knight's gonna go to e6 and try to go knight d4. So white wouldn't get to expand as quickly as he might like over there. I think knight e2 might be in order, and I think the position is quite balanced here. But I think that's how you play. Take and go for b4 and c5. That feels correct. That feels correct. Take, and okay, the structure is a little bit worse for black, but he has the idea, and basically what everybody should be doing when you're playing against the two bishops. I think your strategic plan for most of the positions is trading off the remaining bishops that are on the same color. That's usually what you want to do. So white has the two bishops. If black has a dark square bishop, then his goal should be trying to trade dark square bishops. That is pretty much an easy rule to follow. It usually be the correct plan. Feels to me like white wants to go maybe, I mean, generally he would love to play a3, b4, c5, something like that, but black's going to get that pawn to a5, so I think he's going to end up playing b3, maybe bringing this bishop back, also h3 to stop knight g4. I think there's a few preparatory moves. Right now, rook takes e5, knight d3, and if rook here, knight takes e1 works, so that means rook e5 is not a move. He goes rook e2, and to be honest, I'm not a fan of that move too much. That looks like a mistake, basically. It's not a huge blunder, is he? No, he's not going to be losing any pawns here. I was a little concerned. Maybe the b2 pawn, but he's going to go queen c1, followed by b3. So okay, he'll survive this, but allowing that knight to d4 with tempo the way he did there was certainly not what he wanted to do. So again, I think that white's ideal setup is b3, h3, bishop back to g2. Knight g4 is stopped. The bishop is off the f3 square where it's a little bit loose. The rooks can finally then take the pawn, and of course b3 just strengthens the pawn chain and gets that pawn off b2, so now the queen isn't stuck defending it. So that's the setup that I would be aiming for with white, and also Bortnik, for how quick he is, you're actually seeing him down more than a minute here, and that might seem surprising, but I think that people who are extremely good in bullet or blitz even, they get lower on time than anyone else. Like, they generally play slower. That's what I've found. So Grishuk is a good example. Tremendous speed chess player, but always in time pressure. And you might be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. He's one of the best speed chess players in the world. How does he play so slow all the time? And I think that it comes from the comfort level. If you're the type of player who is confident in your skills to play low on time, to play good moves when the clock is ticking down, then you're going to be more willing to spend time because you're thinking, okay, I got a minute left. That's tons of time. You're a confident bullet player. You can handle it. But if you don't, if you're no good in time pressure, then the whole game you're playing faster than normal because you know that you don't want to get into a time scramble because that doesn't benefit you. So I think it has to do with the comfort level of some of these speed chess players. They're like, yeah, I can, yeah, whatever, I can handle it. For me, it's the same way that I play so slow in blitz, but then all of a sudden, when I realize, it's like, wait a minute, I need to be playing much faster, and then I can dial in. But I think that's a pretty widespread thing that a lot of players deal with. Playing really slow, even though you're a very strong speed chess player, I think is actually normal. I think that's natural. Knight d3. This is just winning, by the way, for black. This has been a disaster. Missing that queen h3 was really bad for him. And as you can see, I was just talking about Bortnick, how he's going to play super slow, and then later on he's going to just pick up the pace because he is a strong speed chess player. Well, here you go. Here you go. That is exactly what just happened. Okay, I don't know. Maybe we can even just take that. But yeah, probably we can take it, although I don't think he's going to. I think he's probably just going to go like f4 or something like that. f4 looks playable. Okay, g5. Nice move. Forces the king back because of rook takes d4 and e3. And if king there, we're going to go f4 check. He decides to resign that one. Pretty much trusts that his opponent knows what the heck he's doing there, and I would as well. But yeah, 14 seconds. The +2 increment is what makes the difference there. So everyone involved in that game knew that he wasn't going to flag or anything like that. Eltaj Safarli, what is he, up 2 pawns here? Opposite bishops, but he's up 2 pawns. Also, that looks like it's about to be 3 pawns. If he can take this, which is very difficult to defend. That's quite a passive looking move. Instead, he's going to go for something like this, but I don't see... Actually, he wants to take here. Okay, that's fair. Maybe king g5. King g5, d5. And he wants to keep the pressure up. Yeah, it's going to be d5. And then probably queen... actually, he can't necessarily go too far because he's got to watch this pawn at the end of everything. Maybe bishop here and try to give that check if the pawn pushes. I think actually white didn't do a good job, or excuse me, black didn't do a good job here because this d5 move is so annoying. Maybe he has to, I don't know if I like that. I was going to say maybe he has to take this, give it up, and just run the king up the board. Don't know if that was any good. So he's got this pawn covered. It's not so much that that's going to be a queen. It's more so that there's pressure on this pawn, and I'm not sure you're able to defend everything. Probably b5 here. Bishop e2. Okay, there's ideas like this, but even still, the king can run, and this pawn is going to be hit at the end of every line. Plus, hang on, there's d7 in the position as well. Is there a reason why d7 wasn't played? It seemed to me like d7 was nearly winning there. d7? Because there's no checkmate here. Oh, hang on a sec. Maybe there is a checkmate there. Yeah, so you'd have to go there, and then maybe it'd be a draw. White's probably still trying to win. White's probably still trying to win. Okay, this is no good, though. What just happened here? The king got loose. No, this queen a5 check was no good. Queen a5 check, definitely no good. Okay. By the way, if black trades queens, it's definitely going to be winning. Okay. How's he going to do this? King c7. Maybe queen f. No, queen f5 actually will be a draw. I should say if black trades queens but keeps two pass pawns as a draw. Or it's a win, rather. Like this. But if you trade on f5 and takes, bishop puts itself on f4, then I don't think it's necessarily winning. Very tricky endgame. Very tricky endgame. Bishop f6. Oof. He's really blundering some pawns here. So Farley can't be too happy with this. That's a huge blunder. He's got to keep the queens on the board now. Queen f3, I think. Yeah, this is no good. The pawn is defended. I think this one is definitely going to be a draw now. I can't really imagine another result. Yeah, this should be pretty easy. Probably going to check. Not much to do. Any queen trade now, dead draw. Dead draw. He's really trying to he's really trying his best to bait white into doing something bad. Don't think it's gonna work though. As long as you keep the bishop here, it's just too easy. I think we're gonna get a draw. There we go. There we go. Will he offer a draw? I don't see why not. White can pre-move these two moves for the rest of the game. Okay, is there another game going on? This one is certainly, well, it's the last one, yeah. All right, there we go. That is round 4 in the books. We're going to be moving on to round 5 now. Okay. So, the standings right now, as you can see, Konovets, that's Sam Sevian. Also, Bortnik, who we just saw play. 4 out of 4 for them. We got a lot of people probably chasing with 3.5. But as you can see here, International Master at FIDE Master. Cool for chess. Pretty sure he's in the chat as well. And Bulldog. So, yeah, man, 2,900 IM. So some impressive ratings there. Let's check out these guys, as neither of them boast the GM title, yet there they are, tied with the best of them. Tied with the best of them. So this looks like a French for sure. Ah, yes, this variation. I don't know. Somehow it feels wrong to allow e5 kicking the knight like that, but hey, I don't know too much about this line, so maybe this is some sort of theory. I think white wants to play this move really badly, h3. If he can get h3, I think he'd be happy. Yeah, I think white probably is still in some sort of preparation, or at least some opening stuff, because it seems to me like we're going to get h3 and c4 by white, and those look like incredibly restricting moves for the black pieces. It really takes away a lot of squares. So I think those moves are extremely important here. Extremely important for white's position. Queen c3, bishop b2. Yeah. h3 though, I really do think is important. Black would like to castle queenside, although it's not clear that's going to be able to happen. It may just be a rook d8 move. This bishop, though, is going to be quite strong on this diagonal, I feel. Again, I'm a big advocator for h3, but it might not be necessary right now. g3 looks like an extremely loose move. I don't know. This doesn't feel right. You know, it gives the bishop some squares. I feel like if I wanted to move my g-pawn, I'd rather play h3 and threaten g4. So I'd rather go something like this. And if the guy goes like that to stop it, maybe now I can go g3. I don't know. just because I don't like giving this square to his pieces. So now, I mean, knight g4 is certainly, yeah, certainly a move to consider, with e3 coming next, maybe. Yeah, e3, e3 is playable at least. We could say that. I don't know if, yeah, I guess no, e3 now maybe isn't the best. Okay, well, I'm surprised h3 wasn't played. He's got some, he's got some patience. It's quite impressive. I would be kicking that knight out with h3 like first thing. But I've also been asking for h3 for like 10 moves, so don't be listening to me then. Knight d4. Yeah, something feels a little spooky about this position. Taking on d4 means that, you know, this rook swinging over to e6, and ooh, no, these bishops cannot take those pawns safely, it looks like. Bishop takes here, there's rook e6, and yeah, it just looks like too much. Too much. Sorry, I should say bishop there, this just takes and rook e6. That's a better way to put it. Castles, okay, but hey, he's castled, nice safe king. Rook there. I can get behind this position for white. It looks like black has the more aggressive pawns, but remember, his structure is totally shattered. So long term, his king has no safe haven, and it's completely the opposite for white. So you really do have to put a value on a safe king at some point. Really got to put a value on a safe king. Yeah, h3 finally played. It looks like a good move. Don't know if we're going to see knight e5 here. No, probably not. Knight f6. Knight f6. Well, actually, maybe we will see knight e5. It is possible. Yeah, knight e5. He'd like to go here, get rid of the light squared bishop. I imagine the move g4 is fairly tempting. Also, the idea of just bringing rooks to the middle. Both of those moves look like they're going to be good. Knight e5 and rook d1. That feels like a good one. Just hitting the pawn. If this happens, like if the pawn ever pushes, you can see how strong that bishop gets. Let's not forget that down more than a minute here. Down more than a minute is Bulldog 167. So that's going to be taken. There's a bishop takes h3, but okay. How is this looking though? Rook e1. Yeah, white's just a little bit better, I think. A little bit better. I feel like the black king being exposed there is the difference. Take here. And if bishop takes, maybe like queen f6. Looks extremely good. If queen takes e6, then hey, this pawn is hanging. I think we can just take it. Oh, it takes there. Oh, queen f6 is really strong though. I'm not sure I like bishop takes e6. This looks uncomfortable. King e8 or something is almost the only move. We can take this pawn. Opposite bishops plus queens give extremely good drawing chances, we have to say. Now he's got the idea like here, there, and queen d8. That's going to be pretty strong. Yeah, bishop takes f6 now. Or sorry, just bishop f6, not taking anything. Queen d8 and bishop takes. There's this. That looks like game over. If you check, you just bring the rook back. So that should be game. That is a win for white, and he keeps his perfect score intact. Yeah, it's not much else to look at here. Black is hoping for, you know, the miracle checkmate comeback, but it's simply not going to happen. Simply not going to happen. Rook b4. Yeah, g4, f4, f5. he's spending more time on these moves than his attack. He's up a rook now. This should just be automatic. This is just automatic. I think at this point you just sack your bishop for the pawn there. It's no problem. Yeah, b5. Take, and this bishop, well, doesn't even have to sacrifice anymore. Just game over here. So he keeps the underdog story alive. Let's keep looking at who had 4 points out of 4. No, everyone's done who had perfect scores. Grigory Oparin looking to move into second place. He was chasing the leaders, only a half point behind. Take that. Oof. That looks like a nice win for Matthew G there. My goodness. Man, Grigory Oparin, I gotta stop looking at his games. He's probably really annoyed at me. Every time I check his games, he's like, fighting for a draw or getting checkmated or something. So I gotta stop doing that. Sorry, man. My bad. Okay, what's going on here? There's pawns about to queen all over the place. I don't know what's going on. G2. My goodness. There's going to be some check. Maybe rook d4 now, threatening that. But there is rook e8 after that. Just queen. And if rook there, you go rook e8. That should be pretty easily winning, I want to say. Rook d1 now? I think rook d1. He takes. Okay, well, it transposed anyway. We would have got this no matter what. Okay, king takes a3? Or king a4, maybe. Nah, it doesn't really matter. Okay, he's going to go queen takes b6. He's hitting the rooks. There's no discover check, and now it's just winning. Here, you go check and take, and rook a8, you go check here and take. So it was over no matter what. Yep. That's going to be a win. Parhamov coming up with yet another victory. I think that means he moves into second place there with 4.5 out of 5. Let's keep checking. Naroditsky, I haven't visited his games yet. What's going on here? Ooh, rook a1 is a sneaky looking move. Yep. I think he's going to I think he's probably going to pull this one off. I have a feeling. I think this is maybe rook g7 here. And rook over. Yep, I like that. I think this is the type of position where you can definitely pull off a win. King there. Ooh, I don't like that move. What on earth is that? What the heck is h5? That looks awful. Yeah, no, this is an easy win now. Nothing's happening here. This is Danya. Gonna be on 4 out of 5. E6. Yeah. Wow. That went from maybe a draw to just losing in like 5 moves. Basically. That's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Daniel Naroditsky keeps his hopes alive for winning the event. Definitely only dropped a game so far. Is completely fine. Fuck. 2000 is just crushing him here. But black can barely move. Now, that being said, what can white do? I'm trying to find the crush here. Where is it? What's it going to be? Like, how do you break through, right? Knight e7. Ah, there we go. He wants knight e7 and rook takes. I think that's what he wants. That seems like an incredibly strange move. There's e4 check. Okay, he's Whoa, he's doing some funny stuff. All right, so he wants to take this pawn. That's how he's planning to win. Yep, but now black gets the rook activated. Man, this is some serious stuff here. Rook there, he wants to go knight g6. Nope, okay, I'm wrong, ignore me. This is some high-level stuff. Knight g4? My goodness. I feel like he's allowing black too much counterplay. Like, he's trying very hard to be precise, not allowing any counterplay, but I thought that he did allow too much. Although this is an extremely strong move. Yeah. No, this is really good. Can you take that? I don't think so. I don't think so. He's gonna go back. So he's trying to push this pawn, but I don't know if it's necessarily enough. Probably rook c2. Yep, rook c2 is a great move. Oof, he's running out of time. He's getting so low. He's still doing well here. Still doing well. h6. Okay, king g6, rook back. Rook d4 maybe? There's rook d4 to guard the knight there. I think he's going to go for that now. Rook g1, rook d4. Okay, h7. Wait for bishop b2. Yep. So how do we... Basically, we would like to play knight there. So I imagine... Okay, I thought he was going to go there, so he could play rook f2. Check, we got rook g4. And then knight f7 next, right? Oh, not now. Don't do it now. He wants rook g8. And he's going to go king g6 now? Yeah, now I think he's done it. Now this is much easier. Rook c8 check is decisive. Rook c8 check is decisive. King e6, I suppose. Okay, I guess you can play that. I think king e6 was much easier there. Threatening this pawn and also threatening mate on c8. But again, I don't think anyone is playing 100% accurate. King e6. King e6. Okay, he's taking pawns. Can't blame the guy. Can't blame the guy. I definitely think he could have handled that a little better. He had a pawn on h7. I'm sure there were better ways to win. This is probably still winning, but I don't think it's so simple. Okay, king f5, sure. He wants to keep checking, and on knight e5, I think he wants to play bishop d4. Okay, d6. Must be d6. This knight is dominated, though. Yeah, it has to go some convoluted way back into the position, and the blunders are happening. The blunders are happening. That is that's a pretty impressive comeback. Pretty impressive comeback. Man, this move. First of all, it draws, but it almost wins. It almost wins, guys. Yeah, I guess you gotta just take it. That's funny. There you go. There we go. Holy smokes. Okay, that definitely should have been a win for white. I think he's going to wish he had that one back. That looks like it should have been a win. We're going into round 6 right now. And there are your leaders. We got Rasmus Svane from Germany, Alexander Bortnik from Ukraine, and Cool for Chess, FIDE Master, probably having the tournament of his life there. 5 out of 5, off to an amazing start. Probably going to stay following his games. Honorable mentions, Matthew G, P for P. Dude, 4.5 out of 5. as an FM. Definitely really good. Faruja there. He lost that one game earlier. He's making a comeback. Let's dive into the games here. Bortnik against Cool for Chess. And if I'm not mistaken, Cool for Chess, I'm pretty sure he was just white. So he got a double white here. He got a double white. Is this some theory? What's going on here? This is some early bishop h4, huh? So if g3, there's bishop takes f3. So what's the line? I'm just wondering. g3. Here, castles. To me, I see two hanging pieces. There must be... Ah, okay. Bishop comes back. Okay. Yeah, I was initially a little skeptical about the check and the bishop, but okay, I guess this is yeah, I guess this is some sort of prepared check. Bishop h4. Knight g3 looks fine though. It's just that the bishop check does look correct. Guess you can't play g3 there. Tournament has 10 rounds. 3 plus 2, 10 rounds. Knight takes d4. What is the reason we can't do that? I don't know. Maybe something weird like bishop takes h7. Okay, he decides to take and take probably, right? Yeah. I mean, if you're going to offer a center pawn like that, especially against a GM, you better have something prepared. Okay, so bishop takes. This is what I thought earlier, because takes, there's queen takes f7. But, you know, if you save the knight, you did just take the center pawn for the h pawn. I'm not sure if that benefits white or black there. Feels like it should be better for black in terms of the pawns. However, the bishops are enjoying an open board right now, and that is very scary. Very scary. Bortnik has to castle on the queen side as well. There's no... Well, I suppose he could castle on the king side here. It does look suspicious, but man, he just took both pawns. Greedy, greedy, greedy. Is he going to take another one? No, there's no way. Can't take that one. That's too much. Takes queen c2, and the knight's just trapped. And the knight's just trapped. So he's going to go back knight b6 or something? I suppose, knight b6. Unless he's trying to make this work with c6 and some sort of check, but that looks highly, highly, highly suspicious. I do not advocate for that. Bishop b3, I guess. Yep. White's position is open. He's got to be a little careful of this diagonal because the rook is covering these squares, and if he was checked there, that could be pretty nasty. But you know, bishop e3 here, I think. Bishop e3 is looking like a great move. Covers this square, covers c5. Bishop e3 looks fantastic. Yeah, I'm surprised no bishop e3. He plays it now when, I mean, isn't this... I don't understand. Isn't that a pawn? I don't get it. I don't get it. Was that a mouse slip for bishop f4? You know, like what is that? He's been hanging pawns all game. 1, 2, 3 pawns. That is the third pawn that Bortnik has had to take, and wow, he's playing quite quickly. Minute 45 here. 94. Okay, he's inviting the check, of course. He wants to sidestep. Important that king f1 isn't so desirable because of bishop there. The black king doesn't have too many places to go. If he castles kingside, the nice thing for white is that there's no h-file pressure. If he decides to go there, the rook would just simply jump away. So if he wants to use the h-file, he can't castle. Mouse slip for sure? I guess so, but I don't know. Bishop f4 didn't seem the most natural to me. Knight c4. Man, if there was a rook e4 move happening, that could be beneficial, but Remember, there's always checks for the queen on the h file. There's always some checks there. Knight c4 looks strong. Takes, brings the queen away from the h file, but I don't think that's necessary. Why is he not taking with the bishop? I guess he's looking at bishop a4, maybe? I think it's about time white got greedy. You know what? Like, bishop takes a7, right? Don't we have to do something like that pretty soon? As white, the guy's been, snatching your pawns the entire game. Got to get some revenge. Up a full minute here. Yeah, there we go. He does. He does go for that. Rook b7. Any tricks here? I suppose queen d4 might be playable. I'm liking queen d4. Yeah. Because takes. There's this pin onto the bishop. The bishop also hits g7. 7 seconds for black here. Again, I'm seeing this position doing quite well for white here. Knight e5. Yeah, that looks like a strong one. Yeah, knight e5 is actually quite strong. The question is, though, rook h1. Hang on. Rook h1 looks like a big move. Because it's unclear to me whether the rooks or the queen are better. The only question is whether there's some tricky in-between move, but I'm not seeing one. Yeah, rook h1. Okay, 2 rooks for a queen, but it's quite possible black's position looks a little discoordinated right now. If he finds coordination, though, I think black is better. If he finds coordination, I think black is better. Queen a4. I guess he's going for queen a6 next. Yeah, I think he wants to play bishop there. Bishop there, bishop a4. Oof, he barely got that move off. Barely got it off. Okay. If queen there, let's remember that this is not a threat because knight d3 doesn't exist. There's some checks here to be wary of. So king there, there's that move. Maybe he'll start though with queen g8. Not so sure about that one. There is a queen g8, but it's not leading to a checkmate. I think knight g4. Ooh, he goes for this. Okay, it's a safe move because he protects his king there. Now, don't go back, that's for sure. Five seconds now for white. Ooh, this is looking... Ooh, knight d3. Oh, sorry, it's pinned. I was going to say knight d3 is a great move, but of course, it's not possible. What a unique position. 2 seconds now. Must be c5. No? Not c5. Okay, the king is getting safer. That's definitely what you want there. Queen c3, hit the pawn. Now, probably he's going to move the bishop. Rook d3, queen c1, or queen e1. One of those two. Oh, okay. He's going aggressive. The problem is for white, it's like, yeah, you need to get the queen in the position somehow, but it's very, very difficult. Very difficult to do. Oh, that's a blunder. That's a blunder. Full queen gone there. Intense game, both players under 10 seconds. Only one of them will maintain their perfect score. And sadly, you know, for the people's champ, cool for chess there, the FIDE master hanging with the big dogs up top, he's not going to be maintaining his perfect score. He's going to have 5 out of 6, which is still tremendous, but a step back from what he was hoping for, no doubt. Is this one? This looks like it's going to be a win. Oh, actually, no, it should be a win. Because you can... okay. He has drawing stuff here. King up, queen check, and then I think king e7 this time. Why not king e7? Maybe it doesn't matter? Is he really getting a draw out of this? Wow, okay. I guess. Maybe they've been shuffling for a while. I'm not sure, but seemed like maybe I would at least try this. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah. Maybe it doesn't matter. Because here, that check forces that, and I suppose I can't even do that, actually, because he's taking with a check. So he's forcing my hand. Yeah, wow, that's harder than it looked. Yeah, that's just, no matter which side you're on, the king has the exact same pattern. There you go, guys. That's going to be a draw right there. And nothing you can do about that. Rook f8. That looks nice. He's going to earn his draw here. Yeah, easily. Don't know exactly what the... Okay, yeah, this is a known draw. This is a known draw. So I'm surprised he went there. I mean, generally the way to draw this is you just put your rook here and you just stay on the back rank and shuffle your king the entire game. That's how you make a draw. So he went like that, which is probably unnecessary, but then he gets to show off rook f8. Nice trick there. And they made a draw. Okay, couple games left. There we go. Rook and bishop against rook. So I already said at the start, we always see rook and knight against rook. We always see rook and bishop. Or sorry, we always see rook and knight against rook. We always see rook and bishop against rook. There you go. Saw both of them today. The only thing we're missing is rook against knight, I think. That's what this whole stream still needs. But we have lots of time to get that. We have lots of time for that. But hey, it's a predictable tournament. That's a blunder there, allowing the draw, but we always get these end games. And that is going to be it for round 6. That's going to be it for round 6. We're on to round 7. There is only one leader. So Alexander Bortnik there from Ukraine, 6 out of 6. He's having a great event. Now we see a few people catching up. Firouzja, 5 out of 6. He lost that game earlier. Parhamov, 5.5. Safarli. We're seeing the GMs really get their names up there in the standings. Cool for chess. Still doing extremely well. Same with Bulldog. These guys both 5 out of 6. Dangerous player, 5 out of 6. Only missing 1 point there, and they're competing with their GMs, 3,000. So these guys are doing really well. But let's take a look at this round. Bortnik against Parhamov. That's a huge matchup there on the top board. This looks like some funky stuff. What is this opening? I guess bishop e6? Yeah, that looks right. Takes, and this check is kind of meaningless. I guess black just goes there. Yeah, I mean, it looks more or less okay. Queen d1 is playable, but yeah, I was going to say, I think he's going to take. So if knight d4, there's, king d2, there's castling. I think h5 makes a lot of sense. Black's going to expand on the queen side here. I wonder if he's going to play a3. No, he doesn't bother. Knight e2. Black's probably going to put rooks on like f8 and g8, although maybe he might swing a rook here and go for that. Yeah, a3 makes a lot of sense. As expected, putting some pressure on f2. d4 is the idea. Not necessarily the worst thing for black, though, to allow. This is okay. You can put the rook there. If rook h4, we're going to see rook g8 for sure. We might see rook g8 anyways. Yeah, I think I actually like black's position there. This is an interesting move. He's inviting this. He'll take with the knight and go bishop takes f2. So like this, you might say, gotcha. That's a pin right there. Bishop takes f2 and bishop g3 check from the rook is going to get that bishop back. And if you go this way, then you can take back like that, and there's no more pin. So tricky little move there. Rook h to g8. Wow, Chessbay, I actually have no idea who that is. I truly don't. Faustregel. No, never heard of him. From Israel. That sounds like almost an Italian name. But I can say that it's not too often that I hear a name and I'm like, yeah, I have no clue who that is. But that's a grandmaster that I have never heard of. Knight a5, looking to get active. This is why I was saying I think I like black's position, because I'm really liking the pressure that you can put on that pawn. I think he's going to play king to c2 here. He's got to go for that. The knight hits the b pawn, but king c2 defends everything. Yeah, king d1 makes sense. We'll get king c2 here. Still, I like black's game, though. That knight on c4 is so strong. So strong. e5, he's renewing the exact same idea. He's been looking at that f-pawn the entire game. Takes, knight takes, and then the knight can sink itself on f5, or if you take back. Somehow white's position is held together there. Yeah, and you can see the pressure, guys. Up a minute and a half. Parhamov here. Definitely putting the pressure on his opponent. Okay, what's going to happen here? Bishop f4 played. He wants to get some g3 in. He'd like to take. The knight's protecting. He is hitting that pawn, and don't forget that h-pawn will be dangerous if he takes on h6. What to do? It's a kind of unique move, bishop f4. It's stronger than you might expect. Gets out of the way of everything, covers important squares, and white's position looks a little flimsy, but somehow everything is covered. Pawn is being hit, bishop's covered. I don't see any tactics, and we got this pin here, so we can take on d6 next. Somehow this one looks like it's working out, which, again, it looks very impressive to me. It doesn't feel like that move should work. So I'm guessing he's going to take. Bishop takes, looks like it loses a piece to me, or the exchange or something. Loses something. Yeah, he's going to take with a pawn and g3. Because if he takes here, there's rook f2, which he does not want to allow that pin. Knight c3. Man, very impressive stuff. I think Bortnik made an incredible looking comeback in the position. And right when I say that, knight c3, maybe this rook f4 is actually very strong. At the very least, he's in big trouble because knight e3 hits him in the face on rook d1. This knight's going to have to come back to e2 to watch that square, but this position right here looked very reasonable for white. But knight c3 was a little quick. Yeah, with the bishop covering this square, black is at least equalizing here. So how exactly to do this? Knight d3, king d2, there's going to be knight there? No, I'm trying to figure out how he's actually going to prosecute the advantage here. He's got more than double his time. Perfect score here in the tournament for Bortnik playing with the white pieces, but it looks like that's at risk right now. We've already seen a bunch of other games finish up. Firouzja is trying to make a comeback in his game as well, or in his tournament as well. Well, he's up a piece here, so Firouzja has got an easy victory there. He's going to be very close to the leader. And in this game, though, Parhamov trying to figure out what exactly he's doing after he played knight e3 there. Okay, so rook d4. No, probably he's got to go take that pawn, but he's going to be down a pawn. If he goes like rook g3, rook e4, remember he can't even take because of knight e3. Well, there would be king d4 in that position, but it seems to me like the idea of going after that pawn when there's knight e3 is already wrong. King c5, he's going to check and go back. d5, breaking up the pawns. That's good stuff. Be careful of that move. I wouldn't be surprised if this was playable. Again, there's knight e3. Can't really take this g-pawn easily. King e5. Now white really does want to play that. I thought maybe there was chances in the knight endgame. Seriously, I think this endgame is potentially quite good because it seems like white's gonna have to waste time getting this pawn, and then in the meantime we're gonna go here, clean up these pawns. So I thought that was a reasonable try, but he's going about it this way. Yeah, he's looking for that pawn. So there's going to be rook takes f5, rook takes g2, rook takes h5, I think. Yeah. Slightly better for black here. Okay, rook h6 just generally makes some sense. He wants to get behind the pawn. This is white's done a good job at more or less equalizing. I think he's bringing the king all the way over. But this has gotten messy enough that I think white's doing decently. This king move, though, very annoying. This is such a compact position for black. Everything is defended, and okay, there's a pawn disappearing from the table. There's also check next. Yeah, I think check is going to be played. I think I was going to say, did he miss this? But maybe he didn't want to deal with a rook endgame, which is fair. That's fair. Okay, where's he going to go? Maybe just bring the knight to c4, but there's knight f4 coming if you move the knight. Okay, well, knight f4, definitely. Rook f5. Probably knight check and knight to d4. Yeah, it's getting a little messy now. You got to grab that, but this pawn is now running. And try not to blunder or anything. No bad knight forks. He's going to go back. Oh, he's looking at this one. Yeah, it looked like that was losing. Man, very close, though. Very, very close. Can he go rook here and this? No, there's knight e3. Ooh, what about... Man, so many things to calculate. Knight e3, rook there. King d2, rook takes. There's rook check, so there's no knight g4 forking. What? That looks wrong. Okay, well, they're going to draw this, I'm pretty sure. The king is close enough. That is, that's a high-level game. That's a high-level game right there. Yeah, now basically he's going to reroute the knight, I think, and in general, it's very hard to make progress from here. The king will just sit on a7 and knight b7 or something next. Yeah. They made a draw there. How many games are left? Not too many. Not too many. Take a look at a few of the interesting ones. This looks like it's a... I want to say it looks like it's a win, but I'm not too sure. Gotta go rook a5. King should go back. Yep, probably... hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. So maybe knight e4, he's going to waste time with like a rook move. Or a king move, sure. And then he wants to go here. Kick the knight. Trying to gain some time. He's basically wasting his move there. He's stopping knight e4, king back. Now he's going to give a check and go king f7. I thought. What's going on here? What? It's not what I expected. Okay, that looked extremely weird. I thought he could bring the king to f7 with a check on a8. Okay, maybe he's tried it before, though. I just got to the end game. Looks like there were better ways to try there. Okay, well, guys, we're at the end of round 7, and that means we are going to take an official break, not just a break for us here on the stream, but we're doing our ceremonial 5-minute break that Chess.com introduced to the Title Tuesday format, where the fair play team is just going to basically check everyone in the tournament, especially the players near the top of the table. A very, very close race, as we can see. 6.5 out of 7 is leading the tournament, but if you look at those names right there, there's a lot of people chasing with 6 points. So we're going to take about a 5-minute break. We're going to come right back with the final 3 rounds of the tournament, but right now we're just going to take a fair play break, and I hope you guys stay tuned for the final stretch and find out who's going to be the winner of the last Title Tuesday of 2019. So I'll be right back. Hopefully you guys stay right here, and see you soon. right, guys. Hello, hello. Welcome back. Hope you guys are still here. We are checking into the next round here. We got a big match up there on the top boards there. Firouzja against Konovets. Wow. This is going to be a fun one. Firouzja, Samsevian, two pretty strong young players there. And the break is over, so we're back. We've got the final 3 rounds. So this is round 8. That's a 10-round event. Still, of course, with the same 3+2 time control. And knight h5 played. This looks like it just came from an Italian game. You could also get this stuff from like a Ruy Lopez, but this one indeed looks like it did come from the Italian game. So when the queen's off d1, it's a lot safer to go for this knight h5 move. Sometimes when the queen is there, you run into like knight takes e5 tricks with the knight hanging, but this is totally safe. We got the knight coming in there. This pressure against the queen is not really dangerous at the moment because I don't see anywhere for this bishop to move except backwards. And then if that happened, the queen would just move. So knight e3, looking for squares of his own. This bishop is really comfortable going back to f1, but I believe that if knight f4 happens, I think he wants to go bishop c4. Bishop f1 is the safe move we're used to, bringing it back around the king, but bishop c4 is a little more aggressive. And this setup by black is pretty standard. The idea of having the knight on g6, bring a knight to f4 and play queen f6 opens up a lot of threats. Like, for example, just as an idea, let's say you play b3, some random move. Sometimes you have this idea of knight h3, and if you take, then you grab this knight here. And sometimes it works even better. If the guy has a pawn on h3, then you can just take a pawn for free. So those are the sort of typical attacking ideas. Whoa, there's a lot of hanging pieces. 1 hanging piece, 2, like 3. If you take here, 4. Everything is loose here all of a sudden. Everything is loosed all of a sudden. Wow. And looking at the matchups there, Bortnik 7.5, Parhamov 7, and then there's lots of matches still going on. So who do you guys think is going to win? That's the most important question. Who do you think is going to win? I've been saying earlier that it's not always the highest rated player who just wins these events. In fact, that doesn't happen most of the time. So for Firouzja to actually win wouldn't necessarily be as expected. That he's the highest rated player, but he lost in, what was it, like the 2nd or 3rd round? I think the 3rd round he lost. So anything can happen. We're getting into the final. We're getting into the final 3 rounds here. Konovets, you think, Fat Girl? All right. We'll see if that prediction pans out. I can say Firouzja seems to have gotten the better of the tactics here. That d5 move in general was just so strong. Hitting the bishop and, watching this knight. And once you take, the knight is just loose, hanging. So that's just a win of a pawn and a strong knight on d3. So overall, looking very, very good for Firouzja here. Yeah, I was going to say just bishop e6. You can even take this at some point as well. And as long as you're watching the e-pawn playing f5, I think it should be good here. f5. Yeah, I was going to say f3 probably has to happen at some point by white because he needs to create something. If you just sit there, black's going to coordinate all his pieces and takes. If you try this, remember rook takes e6, you can take your queen there, so it doesn't quite work like that. Knight d2 played, and he needs a move here. Black needs a move here to guard this pawn. Maybe knight c5, although there is bishop f2. Yeah, it's not so easy. If white gets a hold of that pawn, the advantage starts to disappear. Bishop f2. Okay, no, he just doubles the rooks. That's of course much smarter. Planning to just take now. He could go back with knight d3. Threatening this, yeah. Oh, huh. I missed that as well. Yeah, I totally missed that as well. He could go back with knight d3. Firouzja plays knight d3. Well, looks like me and Firouzja are both falling for the same tactics. Unfortunately, it costs him a little more than it does me, as he's the one competing. Wow, Firouzja. Speaking of potential comebacks and how the top seed doesn't always win, there you go. There you go. Proof is right there. That is a full piece blunder. Full piece blunder. G3, I think. Nice and simple. Yep. Wow. I think knight f3 is the best way to handle this position. Knight f3, bishop d2, and then you can go corral pawns over there. So bishop d2 is a funny way to blunder. Then d2 would just win almost. Yeah, he wants to be able to go here and collect that pawn. Okay, this move looks tempting. Yep, I don't see anything for Firouzja here. Samsevian just needs to keep his head. Bishop d2. He's going to take there. Take on c6, yep. Rook b5, Firouzja, man. Creating something out of nothing. He's taking b2. He's got an a-pawn. I don't know how he does it, man. It's very impressive stuff. Super resourceful. That a-pawn is suddenly running. This is a serious comeback here. Very, very serious comeback. d2? Why not d2? I think he might be losing here. I think he might be losing here. a3? What's going on here? I think he's losing. a2? I don't see what's going on. Okay, he's trying this, but I don't think it will work. There's rook takes d2 and rook d8, covering the mate. And there's queen h1, which is just probably mating on his own, but that's pretty incredible. He just blundered a full piece against Samsevian, who's like an extremely accomplished grandmaster, who had more time than Firouzja, and Firouzja just came back to win. I don't know what's worse, actually. We saw earlier the queen against knight, where the queen couldn't checkmate. But for the caliber of play, to be up a piece and up time as a like 2650 GM and lose, that is up there. That is up there. Holy smokes, we are seeing some pretty rough stuff in the in the title Tuesday. Yeah, e4 here. This should be pretty easy to win now. The king is cut way off from that side of the board. There we go. That's going to be a win there for Big Fish. 1995. Let's keep looking at the games. I also saw this one looks like it should be. I say it should be a winning, but it's not so easy at all. This is actually a pretty interesting endgame. And you can't sack for the pawn, guys, because it'll be knight and bishop. Yeah, how do you win? You got to get the... Oh, no, he blundered that, though. I think he blundered that. Jack. It's probably going to end up being bishop and knight mate. I think I'll stay here, because I just have a suspicion. I have a suspicion. Hello, Eddie. Yeah, I guess he's about 94 or something. Makes sense. Just needs some coordination. Like, basically, white wants a knight on e3 with check. Why is knight e3 check so good? Because it kicks the king out, and then you can play. Okay, I don't know why he took that. That doesn't seem correct at all. That seems to make the job way easier. That's not going to cut it. All right, that's going to be a win as well. And that's actually our last game. I thought that we were maybe going to get a bishop and knight mate out of that, but not quite. Firouzja, I don't know how on earth he won that last game, but he is back up there. You can see the leaderboard very close to the top. Bortnik continues 7.5 out of 8. Let's take a look at the next round games, guys. But we also have this dangerous player first. Don't know who this guy is, but he's got 7 out of 8 as well. Cool for chess. Sting, 7 out of 9. Wait, did he already finish his game? That was very quick. I was about to say 7 out of 8 as well, but 7 out of 9. Maybe some draw or something very quick. Firouzja against Bortnik. I want to check this game, but I also want to stay on this because dangerous player first. I haven't actually seen any of his games, so I feel like I want to check both of these games. I might be jumping back and forth. This right here is some theory. Queen d2, queen d6. Okay, probably castles. Knight c3 also fine, but the idea is that if you take, there's not only knight g5, there's some queen g5 in some lines. And if d4, then you want to say, okay, you've opened up my bishop, which is quite nice, and thank you very much. I'm not sure if he's going to castle long here. Don't think so. Bishop g4 might also be quite annoying after that. Yep. Bishop g4 is so annoying that he played h3. I agree with that. I agree with that. Knight d7, and I said I wanted to keep an eye on that other game, but I see just in the corner of my screen here that they just agreed to a draw. Seems to happen a lot in the very final rounds of Title Tuesday, which is that everyone just draws because it benefits everybody involved in the game. Just gets you closer and closer to that prize money. Castles, we'll probably see these type of moves next. This bishop still needs to find a way to develop. So I think I actually like the pressure that white has on the position. I think maybe d takes e4 is a move to consider to trade those queens and proceed from there. I think he's trying for b5, bishop b7 with bringing the rooks into the middle. Don't see any threats here so far. Maybe b5. Trying to look at this if it's anything, because if white can get knight e5, maybe he's happy, but bishop b7 looks pretty fine. Yep. He might go for d4 here. Either take d4 or just d4 right away. If rook d1, then I don't know. It seems like black is a little ahead. a3. Okay, this looks like black should be happy though. I feel like bishop b7, rook e8. I think Firouzja should like his position here. How are the standings looking? Bortnik 7.5, and he's still playing his game against Firouzja. And let me tell you, if these guys draw, it's because they've gone down to the wire and it just is a draw. But these guys want to play. These guys want to win. That's for sure. So those guys are going to be playing till the bitter end. And then we have, I guess, Big Fish is still playing. That's the other game to keep an eye on. what's going on here. Whoa. This looks like a fun game going on over here. Somehow the material is equal in this game. But yeah, this looks like a fun position as well. Bishop d4. Maybe he's going to go back. Rook h2 is not playable. f4 looks a little crazy. I would sacrifice for that, probably. Maybe ill-advised, but... The top 3 get prizes, Beaguddle, and there, as far as I know, there's also a prize for the top female as well. And sometimes there's special prizes, like there was prizes in some Title Tuesdays for, you know, like a trip to Isle of Man to play in the Chess.com tournament. So some people actually won prizes like that. So it all depends what month it is and whatnot. Okay, well, let's jump back to that Firouzja Bortnik game. Yeah, he did go for d4. And what's the move here? Did he go? So he just gave up a pawn there, which is interesting. Not sure why. Bishop b7 here. Looking for that. Right now, knight f5, queen e5 looks well met. I think he wants to go here and bring the knight to d6. That's what I see. So that's why bishop b7 may be simply walking into that. I think he's trying to be careful there. Hey, Cruzo. Thanks, man. Okay, so he takes the bishop. I don't think there's time for tricky moves like this because then your knight's just hanging on b5. So maybe taking back. Okay, hang on. What's going on here? He's doing this? Or, okay, sorry. Let's put the queen on a better square. Queen e7, knight d6. But rook d8? Oh, then he wants to play knight takes c8. Huh. Yeah, I suppose it works. Suppose it works. Yeah, it works in the sense that you get this position, and to me, I can understand why this is playable for white. Bishop e6 is going to be played. I think this is pretty balanced, but I think objectively, white's probably better. So, somehow it feels like with b3, I can really control queen b4. Yeah, it feels like I can really control the pieces here. Yep. That was a nice little combo there. Firouzja, once again, he's going to be in scramble mode. And queen takes c6 here? Why not? Yeah, queen c6. That's just winning. Queen c6 is game over here. I mean, it's a good move, don't get me wrong, but queen c6 looked like it forced the exchange of everything. I think Firouzja is lost here. Rook c8. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Jack. Yep, Firouzja is 100% lost now. Queen b6, I think, is really good here. Okay, blundering pawns there. Not that it really matters, but just really didn't have to blunder that pawn. He really didn't have to blunder that pawn. Okay, he's gonna go for h4. Yeah, I think this should be pretty easy though. If you want, you could even play g4 there. It's always something to be desired with the conversion. Firouzja is always so resourceful. So he's making way for potential queen check. And there's all sorts of checks. It's impossible to calculate everything. Yeah, there you go. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. King h8. We can't quite do b7 yet. The problem is he has to move the queen now. Or something, and he doesn't want to. Check, check, and b7. Yeah, now there's no draw, and I think just b7, and the queen comes back to g3. Tricky Fallujah, but nothing, nothing that Bortnick can't handle. That means he should take a commanding lead in the tournament. Yeah, he should be a full point ahead. There you see right there. Big Fish and Safarli, this is the only guy who can catch him right now in terms of at least being within half a point. But that's not going to happen. The opposite's going to happen. Safarli is actually going to win here. And, yeah. No, this is over. Wow, so a full point lead, and that means we're going into the final round. There's a few other games here, but just to show you the standings, that means we're going into the final round where Bortnick has a full point lead. A draw will win the event. It's possible that somehow he even wins the event just on tiebreak, let's say, by losing as well. But he looks to be favored here. Wow. What an event by Bortnick there. Let's take a look at some of the games still going, as we're still in round 9 here. Okay, this one's completely over. Looking at him playing down a rook. We've seen some people continue to play some crazy positions. That's mate. That is mate. This one, however, looks far more interesting. Black looks like he's playing for... Well, I would have said playing for the win, but now it's not so clear. Yeah, I think this is nothing going on here. Okay. Draws all around. Oh, I like this guy's name. His name is just Visa. Yeah, we gotta spectate a guy named Visa. Fortunately, the game's looking a little one-sided. He's got a great username, though. Got a great username. Visa. What's the evaluation of this, I wonder? Probably a draw. Probably a draw. I can't tell who's playing for the win. Ooh, whoa, that looks like a big mistake. Why on earth did he do that? Why did he let that bishop out? Okay, now white's playing for the win, clearly, but that was terrible. That was terrible. Okay, he's letting the king out as well. I'm not too impressed by Black's play in the endgame here. What on earth is he doing? I'm extremely confused. I am extremely confused by this guy's moves. Okay. He's gonna have to take. King moves in. Okay, it's a very strange time to pre-move when you have 30 seconds. Okay. Thought that was pretty atrocious by Black there. Oof. I thought he was holding... He had the guy's bishop trapped in there because the bishop was covering f8. And that flipped from... I didn't know who was playing for a win to... Yeah, Black is dead lost. Means we're in the last round, though. And the first thing we have to see is if Bortnick makes a quick draw. I want to make sure I click on that game. Because a draw wins the tournament for him. So this is the one situation where you can't blame the guy for a quick draw. Because it's enough to win. Safarli, though, you can definitely blame him for a quick draw because a draw doesn't do much for his tournament standing, whereas for Bortnick, or I should say, for what needs to be done, he needs to beat Bortnick, catch up to him, and tie for first. So taking a draw here is definitely should not be on his radar at all. Queen g3. I think this is pretty normal stuff. I think eventually Black ends up playing g6 in these. If you play there, you can just take it as white and go queen takes g7. probably takes, yeah. King b1, bishop d3 type of moves. There's also pressure on g7 here, h4, h5 as well. I think white's definitely got a good game here. Okay, well h6 is going to force that, but that's all right for white because this bishop's actually pretty good there. It's stopping the king from castling this way. Don't know if black would love to do that, but if the queen was on d7 and that bishop wasn't there, I think black would really consider it, since this way it looks suicidal. That is walking into all the attack. Yeah, I think this is a good position for Safarli. Let's remember, Safarli beat Big Fish in the last round to even put himself in this situation. So the guy has been winning on demand, and that's fairly impressive. These guys are also competing for the first and second place spot. So another important game to keep an eye on. Sajirov against Magsudlu here, aka Parhamov. Bishop g5. What opening was this? Some sort of Queen's Gambit? Yeah, okay. This is another topical line. Another topical line. If you take that, then comes Queen g5, hitting checkmate in one and the pawn on e3. Quite annoying. Otherwise, if queen there, it looks like knight d5, and you can't really... Oh, excuse me. I didn't even realize this knight was hanging here. Hang on a sec. That's quite bad then. That's quite bad then. Because if rook c3, there is knight d5. Can't even play queen d2, because you got this weird knight on a4. So Sajirov's actually in trouble. I think Parhamov already looking like the favorite, as white has to play this very strange looking king f2. Okay, but it's not over. King f2 could be the move he needed. How about the other board? What's happening? Safarli, big time advantage, and looks to be just crashing through with the pawns here. That poor black king stuck in the middle. However, white is feeling a little bit of pressure from black's pieces here. If queen b6, I think we're just going to see b3, nice and simple. Knight e2, bishop e2, and the queen covers knight c3 check, which is important. Important. Okay, so I think just b3. Bishop c1 was another reasonable move, but I think b3 is solid. At some point, white will move this bishop back, just sort of cover those weak dark squares, and uncover an attack on g7. Man, look at that time advantage. Bortnik is such a comfortable bullet player that he's getting really low on time in these Title Tuesday games. Rook c8. All right, he's definitely not castling that way, that's for sure. I really get the feeling that this bishop belongs somewhere back there. And for now, you can't really, go ahead taking that because you're really opening yourself up to a knight c3. It looks crazy, but like, no, that's not playable because we can take in bishop d4 check. In fact, taking on e2 followed by bishop d4 is definitely a move that would be on my radar. Yep, and he's guarding the c3 square. And by the way, Bortnik just offered a draw, and it was declined by Safarli, so these guys clearly know what they're playing for here. Bishop a3, definitely possible. Earlier, I suppose the same thing would have happened, b3, I guess. Rook d8. Where's the breakthrough? Yeah, there it is, but does that really work? That's the question. Knight takes e6. Takes, and what? Where is the breakthrough? Maybe he doesn't have anything specific, but he's just looking to open up the position. I don't really know. This move doesn't look like it's enough. He definitely doesn't have a crushing move here. He can hit this knight in a number of ways like that, but should be fine. Queen e1. Yeah, okay. Bishop a5, a little sneaky threat there. And if you move the queen, then the knight falls. So, wow, queen e1. I like that move a lot. That's a beauty move. That's really good. He's quite low on time from that. And that, first of all, looks like a completely hanging piece. Wait a minute. Am I missing something? This is completely hanging, right? Like check, king a1? Yeah, okay. I don't know what was going on there. He's done it a lot worse now because I feel like he shouldn't be allowing that check to happen. Rook e3? Yeah, no. That was awful, awful, awful. Why did he play g4 and take and open up the e file? That's really bad. Really bad. Very unnecessary. Bortnik with 10, 11 seconds here might be saving his tournament. So Farley looks like he's on the verge of winning. My goodness. That's extremely sketchy. I don't know why he opened up the position like that. By the way, Parhamov beat Sajirov. So I think he moves into second place right now. Tied for first, though, if Bortnik loses this game. King b1. Wow, that's he actually managed to survive that. He managed to survive that. I say survive, but I'm not even sure I believe myself. h6. He's trying to get out of there. Yeah, no, this looks like survival. Well, he's going for the a pawns. Queen c3 check is also hanging. I'm not sure that he's necessarily going to take it. Okay, he takes it right away. Got to move that bishop or just push the pawn a5. I think you just start rolling it. Yeah, and for example, if you check here, I think that check, pretty sure the bishop holds the pawns. Should be fine. Push. If you push again, it's fine because there's a check here. There's no queen b7. You're threatening this and this. Okay, is there a good way to do this? I think check and queen, and then you're actually covering that square with your queen. No, I think he had to go queen h8 check, king up, and then queen, and by x-ray, he would have been covering h1. Okay, this is probably fine. I'm sure he has a mate here. Queen f8 looks like a great start. Yeah, I'm sure there's a forced mate here. Just gotta find it. I would start with queen f8 though, personally. Oh, there you go. There's one. There's one. So, wow. Yeah, Bortnik loses the last round. It means he only ties for first. And winning on demand, Eltaj Safarli, extremely impressive. Comes back and ties for first. You can check Firouzja's game here, although I guess if Firouzja loses, this guy also ties for first. So that is quite important. Yeah, dangerous player first is his name, and I mean he's gunning for that exact thing right now, first place. Takes on f5. How does this work? g4 takes h3. Takes. There's knight there. He's gonna go knight there anyway, isn't he? Or no, then there's g3. Oh no. Yeah, no, then there's g3. So I think he goes g3 here. Although actually it doesn't matter now because you can take here. Should be winning actually for black. Just grab this pawn. Firouzja offered a draw. I think that's when you're losing. I think that's when you're losing. Yeah, no, there's no way Firouzja gets out of this one. No way Firouzja gets. Not even Firouzja can do that, man. Yeah, Firouzja lost. So this guy ties for first as well. Oh man, there's a serious pile up at the top there. Serious pile up at the top. We can take a look at some of the final games here still ongoing, but I think the final standings are more or less determined. Yeah, massive, massive tie for first there. 8.5s all around. Bortnik, dangerous player, Eltaj Safarli, Parhamov, and then with 8 out of 10, Manchuk, Jeffrey X, so that's Jeffrey Zhang, of course. And got to give a shout outs to the pair of FMs there, D Hayden from the UK and Cool for Chess from the US. Scoring big with 8 out of 10. I mean, that's a phenomenal score. That is a phenomenal score. And is this just winning? Yes. Check, please. Check. King F8 and winning. Gotta remember these endgames. Yep. All right. So, what does that mean? Maybe one or two more games. Oh, this one's going to go for a while. What does that mean for the final standings? Yeah, I think that he snuck in there with 8 out of 10. I heard Chess.com in the Twitch chat say that there are prizes for top 5, which means the 4 8.5s are going to share the top 4 prizes. And then I think the rest of the people are going to have enough money, like maybe for like a cup of Tim Hortons or something. So they can all share that. You know, head over to Tim Hortons and everybody, you know, gets a double. Sounds like a plan to me. Don't think that's going to work out to too much money once it all divvies up. All right, we can check out here. See what he's going to do. That Queen B1 check looked like an atrocious starting move. What's going to happen here? Is he going to still manage this? Great move. B5. Let me explain. B5 check. If you take with the king, then you lose. B5 check. I would say this is definitely the correct play because I think, first of all, maybe you can take, but I think anytime you're trying to draw a queen endgame, if you can double the pawns, seems like a good thing. Seems like a good thing. And if I had to calculate quickly, I just want to show you guys the game, so I'm not going to go into too much analysis, but if I had to calculate quickly, queen d3 takes, king b7. No, that's probably not good. Can't trade queens, but I still think b5 is a good move. And then you can just check around with the queen. Although it's possible I'm being a little fancy because he's got a draw. I want to say draw. King d6. Maybe not. Maybe not. White's making some progress here. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Ooh, I don't like that move. King there, queen there, something. There is a check here. Yeah, so check there. There's queen e7. King there. There's no checks. And you're threatening that. So this could be winning. I don't even know if that's the best move necessarily. Okay, so check. Check. Give your check. Yeah. King there is definitely going to lose to check and check. Now just game over. Check and queen e7. That should do it. Queen e7. There you go. There you go. This doesn't do anything now, and king c6. Yeah, I don't think there's any tricks here. b5 is the easiest way to win. Nicely done. This should be the last game, I think, in this Title Tuesday. Yeah, I think we'll see the scores pop up here right now. There you go. So actually, dangerous player first is a dangerous player who came first. FIDE Master, but clearly worth a lot more than his rating. I think he gained like 50 points from this tournament. 8.5 out of 10 is a really good score, and of course his tie breaks were even more impressive. So he came first. It was actually Azerbaijan who came in first and second, tied, of course. But we actually had a tie between Dangerous Player first, Eltaj Safarli, Parhamov, and Bortnik for the top 4 places. And then, like I said, there's even more players all sharing Tim Hortons money. Tiger V, Schleip, Cool for Chess, Jeffrey X, D. Hayden, and Manchuk. So lots of people sharing that next prize there. $20 for Balaji in the chat. Congrats, dude. Take that $20 and get yourself something nice. Very Chessbait, very impressive showing. Coming in first place on tie breaks into Title Tuesdays. No joke, especially with this competition. So there you go, guys. That was a full 10 rounds, Title Tuesday here on Chess.com. As I said, it's kind of, it's nice that I'm here because it's the final Title Tuesday of 2019. The next Title Tuesday is going to be January 2020. The same time that the PCL starts getting underway. So it'll be a while before the next one. A full month of waiting and lots of stuff to happen in between then. SCC. I'm pretty sure that tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, is actually Hikaru against Jan-Christoph Duda, if I'm not mistaken. Speed Chess Championship match. So you guys have that to look forward to. That is going to be extremely exciting. And I got Chess.com in the chat there, making sure we all know next Title Tuesday, January 7th. So mark your calendars for that. But shout out to everyone watching and everyone playing Title Tuesdays. Last one for 2019. We got another show coming right up. So I definitely encourage you guys to stay around because we're actually going to be going over to a show with Helms Night called Doubles for Dummies, and I can tell you I would be one of the dummies personally. Doubles, if you don't know, Bughouse Chess, I'm sure most of you are familiar, probably a lot better at it than I am. But if you're not that good at it, don't worry. I think the show is literally designed for people like you. So Helms Night, a very, very good Bughouse player, a good chess player in her own right as well, is going to be carrying on the fun and the chess action right here. So please don't go anywhere, guys. We're going to transition right over to that show. And hope you guys enjoyed. Grandmaster Aman Hambleton, I'll be streaming over at the Chessbra channel if you want to go check out where I usually stream, twitch.tv/chessbra. You want to find out what we're up to, at ChessBraTV on Twitter. We've been releasing some pretty exciting Pro Chess League signings that we've done in the off season. We have a pretty exciting roster that we're thrilled to announce to you bit by bit. So if you want to find out the updates, go check out our Twitch channel and the social media. Follow along. But thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate everyone tuning in. And like I said, stay right where you are. We're going to be heading over to Helms Night show momentarily. Bye for now, guys.